You found us. Hello, and welcome back. You're tuned in to Wine in 9, where all you need to learn about wine in 9 minutes or less. Here's your host, Bob Cappuccino.
Welcome to Wine in 9, your dependable 9-minute guide to fine wine. This is your host, Bob Cappuccino. Well, this is a very special time of year in winedom. The grape harvest in the Northern Hemisphere is over, and the new, fresh 2019 vintage wines are fermenting from grape juice into wine. Now, in the Beaujolais region of southwest France, it is especially exciting, for now is the time of the debut of the Beaujolais Nouveau. The first wines of the vintage are going to be released to bistros and restaurants on the third Thursday of November, as is the law set in 1985 by the INAO, which is the organization that sets all the rules for grape growing and wine production throughout France. Now, this whole rule came about because it became such a rush to be the first people to have the wines that the INAO wanted to make sure that there was some quality connections here, and people didn't, take advantage of it and send wine too quickly to market before it was really ready to go. But anyway, Beaujolais Nouveau is very sprightly, raspberry in color and redolent with red berry and even some bubblegum aromas. They're perfect matches for the simple bistro dishes like roast chicken, blanquette du veau, and assorted charcuterie. It owes its vibrant character to the Gamay Noir grape fermented by a method called carbonic maceration. Now let me explain that. Rather than the traditional method of crushing the grapes first, hand-selected whole bunches of grapes are put into the stainless steel fermenting tanks. The weight of the grapes slowly crushes the grapes on the bottom and begins the fermentation. Now, as the fermentation starts, carbon dioxide builds up, and the sealed tank, the carbon dioxide rises, and it builds to the point where the grapes on top, the berries burst on their own and continue the fermentation process. And this gives the wine its intense, really fruity berryness. A few years ago, the release of Nouveau was a PR coup for the Beaujolais producers. It was a contest to be the first one to have it in their bistro or their restaurant, not just in Paris, but even in the United States and around the world. Thousands of cases were sold to distributors, restaurants, and shops who wanted to be the first to offer the fresh and frothy new wine. Some very zealous U.S. importers even had cases air freighted so that they could be among the first. Crazy, right? Well, that mania has died down over the last 10 years, but there are still those who await the release that will happen in a few weeks. You should grab a bottle or two. They're not very expensive, probably mid-teens to high teens, and that's due to the new import tariffs we have on French wines. But chill them down about 20 minutes and enjoy them. They're very timely for Thanksgiving, as the bright, racy fruit goes well with herbs and the spices in our turkey. Kind of very cranberry-y. Well, actually, the southernmost part of the Burgundy region, it could not be more different in style with their wines, their grape types, their soils, and their climates. Beyond Nouveau, which is about 25% of the region's production, there are 3 types of Beaujolais produced. Regular Beaujolais, which is about 25% of the production, and is produced by the many co-op wineries that are in the region. Then there's Beaujolais Village. That's about 25% production too, but it's made from the vineyards surrounding the main villages of that region. And then lastly, there are what we call Cru Beaujolais. It's also about 25% of the production. Now this comes from small estates in the 10 villages designated by the AOC, Appellation Contrôlée, and they're designated as Cru. Now that word actually means growth, but in winedom, we have come to recognize the term as identifying unique parcels of vineyards generally accepted as the best of their territory. In Beaujolais, it refers to 10 villages that may put their names on the wines that are produced there. Interestingly, they usually do not include the name Beaujolais. While all the crus are worthy of consideration, my favorites are these: Fleury, which is the lightest and most feminine, with bright red berry fruit, and makes it a lovely lunch wine or a surprising fresh aperitif. Julianas, which is named for Julius Caesar, interestingly enough, and it's quite floral and a little spicy. Now this is nice for veal or chicken dishes. Bruy, the largest cru of the 10, offers wines with bright raspberry, cherry, and red currant nuances, and it pairs well with lightly sauced pork and chicken dishes. Then we get into the bigger boys. Moulin à Vent, which means windmill, and it's named for an ancient one that's found right in the vineyards, which is a hearty and richer version. It'll age well for 5-6 years, and it goes great with grilled meats and dishes that have some spiciness to it. And the biggest is Morgon, almost more burgundy than Beaujolais in its structure. It's the most masculine of the cru, with deep purple color and richer flavors. Roasted duck or steak au poivre, that's with a black pepper sauce. That's what you want to go with. Oh, and one more for you romantics out there. Saint Amour. It's similar to Juliana, and it's the perfect choice for St. Valentine's Day, or perhaps for that big proposal dinner. Expect to pay high teens into the 20s for the best of them, but no matter which Beaujolais you choose, you will find them all delightful and quite singular as well. So give them a try. I'm Bob Cappuccino from Wine and Nine.
Thanks for listening to Wine and Nine. We hope we used your 9 minutes wisely. If so, or if not, please let us know. Give us your feedback, good, bad, whatever. We'd love to hear from you. Look for Wine and Nine across social media. We're at wineand9.com, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So grab a glass and join, subscribe, download, tweet, whichever you choose. Or you can go to our home base at wineand9.com. Want to email? We're at info@wineand9.com.